Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today I'm going to show you how to repair a hole in the wall. If you had a fairly large hole, I'm going to show you how to cut a patch, put the paper and the tape around it, spackle it, and get the job totally finished as if it was never there before. I'm going to give you an example now of all the tools you're going to need to get the job done. Something to measure how big the opening is so we can put the sheetrock back in it. A ruler to cut the line nice and straight for the sheetrock, our spackling tools, all different assortments, a sanding block to sand the sheetrock, the spackle after it dries. Now you can use regular sandpaper, or you can use this mesh that they sell in the stores too, or what I like to do, if you're in a house, the sheetrock dust really gets all over everything. If you're sanding in this room, you're going to wind up with sheetrock dust in the next room. It gets all over the place. So what I normally do is I'll take a wet cloth and I'll do what's called a wet sand on the wall to get it nice and smooth. And of course, we're going to need our spackle to spackle it up. Okay, now we're gonna put the sheetrock over this hole. So when we put the sheetrock on here, it's gonna be like there was nothing that was ever there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna measure how big this opening is right here, and then we're gonna take this onto a piece of sheetrock, and we're gonna cut the sheetrock that size. So we have 2 1/4 inches wide, and it's about 3 3/4 inches high. So we're going to cut the sheetrock this size, but we are going to cut the patch a little bit bigger. We want to have the sheetrock, the paper part of the sheetrock is going to cover over the top right here. So, all right, let's go out in the garage and I'm going to show you how to cut it, and then we'll continue out there. Okay, so now we have our sheetrock here, and now you remember the opening inside was only 2 1/4 inch, the hole in the center of it. We're going to actually make it so we have 1 inch further on this side, all the way around. We want to have an extra inch of space. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to cut this a little bit bigger, and then we're going to cut the sheetrock inside. So let's mark it like this, and we're just going to cut the sheetrock a little bit. We're going to be a little careful here because we don't want to cut through and damage what's underneath. So we're just going to go nice and easy, but you don't cut yourself. And then now you can see it's cut through over here. Now we just take this and just push it up like this. And then we take a utility knife and just cut along the back. And now we have our patch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside and we're going to make those measurements one more time. Remember, inside here it was 2 1/4 inches wide by 3 1/2 inches high. So we're just going to make those marks on here where the actual opening is going to be, and then we'll continue from there. So let me just do that. Okay, so now obviously this is the part that's going to be showing on the wall. We're going to come on the back over here and we're going to measure it. Remember, it was 2 1/4 by about 3 5/8. So we marked it off here exactly where the cutout is going to be. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to scribe that area, and we're going to cut it with the utility knife. Now we're going to cut a little bit through here, and we're going to break off this part here. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're just going to come in here like this, and we're going to cut here. Same thing here. We're just going to cut just a little bit deeper here. We don't want to cut too far. We're just going to cut a little bit into it like this. And then we're going to take this and just snap it down, being careful not to damage the paper on this side here. We're now going to take the pieces out just like this. See, so we still have the outside piece of paper on there like that. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. And now that is our patch for the wall. So let's go back inside and we'll continue in there. Okay, so this is what the patch is going to look like after you cut it. The paper is on the other side, and instead of having to put the tape around here, this paper is actually the tape. It's going to fit just like this over in the hole. So now before we do anything, we're going to take some spackle, and we're going to put a lot of spackle here all the way around on the other sides, especially in here, because we want this to adhere to this. So we're going to put some spackle on here and then we'll put it back together. I know what you're saying, it's a lot of spackle, but it comes right out. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is ready to go in, but now I'm going to put a little spackle up here.
Hey.
Like that.
That thing is really beautiful, Mike. Yeah, really fun.
Okay, so now we're going to take our patch, put our patch into the hole. The spackle is now going to be sticking to the other spackle. We're going to push it in just like that. What I always do is hold the one side and just smooth it out. You want to make sure that you have all of your air bubbles are out from underneath here, so work from the center to the end, just like that. Same thing here. That's our patch on the wall. Now we're going to let this dry just a little bit. Once it dries a little bit, then we're going to come back and we're going to put a coat of spackle over the top here. But we're going to let this dry for a little bit first, and then we'll come back.
Hold on, watch this.
Okay. Now after this is dried thoroughly here, we don't have to sand it because we did a nice job with the spackle knife before. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in all around here to make the new piece that we put on here even with the rest of the wall. So we're gonna just come in here first and we're just gonna put a light coat on like this. Remember, whenever you're doing spackling, it's always good to use one or two light coats, then try to do it with one heavy coat. One heavy coat is not going to do it. So you put a light coat on, you let it dry, and you would sand it very lightly, and then you would continue with it. We just want to make sure we cover everything. And now we're going to take a bigger spackle knife and we're going to flatten it all out so we have it fairly straight across. Okay, so now you want to smooth it out. It's not going to be absolutely perfect right now. You're going to do it in 2 or 3 different coats. So we put a very thin coat on to cover everything up, to kind of float everything together. Now what we're going to do is, if this is going to thoroughly dry, once it dries, we'll come in here with either a sanding block, which is something like this, with sandpaper on it, so that you can smooth it down, or we're going to come in here with a wet cloth, and we're going to wipe it down with a cloth to get it smoother. So for today, we're pretty much done until the spackle dries, but that's what we're going to do. Sand it down with the sanding block, and then one more coat of spackle over it, and then depending on what it looks like after that, we may have to put a 3rd coat on. But that's it. That's how you remove a switch, and that's how you would actually repair a hole in the wall so that it blends in with the rest of it. All right, so once it's all finished, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, but for today, we're done until it dries. And that's it. All right, on to the next one. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. All right, now that our spackle has dried up on here, I can see it's pretty good. So this is the 2nd coat. So we're just going to do a real finish with the sandpaper. The previous coat we did with the washcloth to actually get it fairly smooth. But now we're just going to finish it off with the sandpaper, and then this job will be done. And that's it. It will be like it was never even there before. All right. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.